Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session. It is Sage Intelligence for Sage Business Cloud Accounting. I am David Acko Bryant. I will be your guide today. I am the Intelligence Solutions Specialist, so let's just get right on with it. Why Sage Intelligence? So if you have been using Sage Business Cloud Accounting, you notice how we do have a range of static, ready-to-use reports. These reports they also include high-level dashboards, and all of those reports and dashboards can be saved in PDF and CSV and can also be emailed to anyone from within accounting. However, Sage Intelligence gives you the option to work with your reports in a lot more proficient manner. You can actually analyze your reports, analyze your financial information, your sales data, your purchase data on a higher level. And today we're going to be looking at what we've added there. Of course, it's pretty much building on the prior recordings that we have, the prior webcasts of the other Sage Intelligence reports, because this time we're working with Power BI dashboards. These dashboards add a nice little visual kick to your reports, and you can see exactly how they work. Of course, I will demo that so you can see exactly what happens. I will be clicking on specific sections, and you'll see how once we change parameters on those specific dashboards, all the information will adjust based on those parameters. Got some nice little charts and graphs available there. And of course, you can also drill down on all those charts and graphs, so you don't have to keep going back into your main core program, for example, the Sage Business Cloud Accounting product, to view or verify that information. It's already available in Sage Intelligence reports. So, with Sage Intelligence reports, they actually give you more insight into your business KPIs with interactive dashboard reports, as I just mentioned. And there is a range of ready to use online financial reports, which you can view and customize with a few clicks. And of course, there's some customizable Excel reports available. We're not going to be demoing that in today's session. Again, it's pretty much something we've already done in the past, and those videos are available. We will be looking at the Power BI dashboards, though. Now, you do have the ability to export reports to PDF. Of course, you can download those financial reports to Excel. Can easily create reports from scratch, pretty much to suit your business needs. You have the ability to organize your customized reports into folders. That's something I really like. And of course, we have lots and lots of help resources easily accessible. As I mentioned, all the videos and the webcasts that we've created, we also have a lot of online help content available for you. So I'm just going to go ahead. Let's jump into the demo really quickly so you can see exactly what we're talking about. Let me see if I can just get in there really quickly so you can see it. So this, of course, is Sage Intelligence. If in case you're wondering how to get to Sage Intelligence, let me see if I can get you guys there really, really quickly. So once you're in Sage Business Cloud Accounting or Sage Accounting, if you want to actually access your reports, all you need to do is just click on Reporting. Once you click on the Reporting tab up top, you'll notice how you should have Sage Intelligence. Let me put my mouse over it. That's Sage Intelligence. And once you click on Sage Intelligence, it will open up another window, and you will be prompted essentially. You will be prompted to, if you want to allow access, if you want to give Sage Intelligence access to your Sage Business Cloud Accounting or Sage Accounting data. From there, you just go ahead and say yes. It will load all that information, and you will pretty much see this window here. Let me just scroll up top so you can see everything. And so we're definitely in here now. This is what you're going to see when you're working with Sage Intelligence. Just want to show you really quickly what that window is going to look like, because very soon we will have another update to the UI, to the user interface, and you'll see a lot more changes. But for now, this is what we're working with. We do have our standard reports here. I'm just going to put my mouse over it. The standard reports include your regular reports here, for example, your assets and liabilities. Put your mouse over it, it will pretty much list it, the entire title, assets and liabilities, current period, profit and loss. These are all of our financial reports, and they're pretty much built. They work with just your regular Sage Intelligence. However, we have included Power BI. So of course that's pretty much linked with Microsoft. Power BI. So the difference between the two of them, if you look at the icons up top here, for example, this is a Power BI report, and this is the analysis of our accounts payable. We have one, the analysis of accounts receivable. Look at the icons up top here. It's a bit different. See the difference between those icons. So for those of you that have been using Sage Intelligence in the past, notice how if I do run my assets and liabilities, it will look a bit different. It's just those are your tabular reports. That's what they are. You're just going to see your columns and your rows. Whereas your Power BI, these are dashboards that include a lot of KPIs, your charts, your graphs, and a lot of drill down. We can actually drill down on specific invoices or other items that you're looking at instead of having to go back into Sage Accounting to look at that information for verification purposes. So really quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can run that information. And just so you know, only 2 years worth of data will load. However, you can actually tick to add additional years if those are actually available. So let me see if I can take you really quickly to your Power BI reports. Don't want to waste all that time. So let's work, for example, with your analysis of accounts receivable. I'm just going to put my mouse over there. And remember, once you put your mouse on it, it will list the entire title. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. So when I do that, I'll put my mouse on the ellipses and notice how I have some options where I can run or I can copy. Why copy? That's because you can actually copy some of those reports, and save them under the My Reports tab for any of those custom reports that you have that you want to view on a completely different basis based on other parameters that you might desire. You can save them under the My Reports tab. Cannot save them under the Standard Reports tab. So under here, I just put the customer ABC in a test just so you guys can see it. And of course, if you're under My Reports, any folders that you do create, if there are any reports underneath that, it will list the number of reports within those different folders. So notice how in each folder, if I click on it there, it's actually going to show you which reports are in there. So I actually have one under this My Reports folder in the test folder. So I'm going to take you back to standard reports and let's look at some of those dashboards. So right now I'm going to work with my analysis of accounts receivable. I can choose to run the report here. I can put my mouse on the ellipses button, get the drop down list and choose to run it. So I'm going to click to run the report and it will pretty much tell me that we're stitching all that information so it can give you the best view of how your business is doing. Really, really nice, really visual, lots of graphics there, and you'll see exactly what happens. It will take some time depending on the on how much data we're looking at, but eventually we will get there, and you'll see exactly how that works. And our report is up. So this essentially is our analysis of accounts receivable. Now, as a user of Sage Accounting, definitely I want to effectively manage my, my debtors, the people that actually owe me money. I need to know how much money I can expect to receive from my overdue customers. And cash flow is one of the major reasons that startup businesses go out of business. So what we can do is this. This dashboard pretty much allows me to work through a discovery process to move from a high-level overview of my debtors down to specific customer information. This is very important because, like I said, if we see some numbers here that we might want to verify based on invoices, we don't want to keep wasting time to go back into our program, into the Sage Accounting program, and start verifying those invoices. Everything is pretty much available here from drill down. So just going to run through that so you can take a look at that. For example, here we go. So I'm just going to start here from the left-hand side. Look at the debtor's days here. Pretty much, if you put your mouse on that little information button there, it's pretty much telling you what the debtor's days means. It pretty much is telling you that it highlights the average number of days that those customers are taking to pay you. And with this information, you can pretty much tell whether you should be focusing on collecting money owed to you on a more regular basis or if you're on track. And of course, money that's being owed to you longer than expected will affect your cash flow. But that's not just what I wanted to show you guys because a lot of these dashboards, as I mentioned, they're interactive. Well, all of them are. So if, for example, I want to pretty much push this out, and that's the only number I want to see, I can place my mouse over it to see if I can show you guys this one more time here. There we go. If you look up top here, notice how there is a little option here. See if I can get there for you. Looks like the mouse is acting up a little bit here. There we go. So when you click on it, it's pretty much going to give you those options there. Notice how there is a focus mode. I'm going to click on it, and this is what focus mode does. It pretty much grabs that and it throws that there in the middle, and you're looking at the focus mode. That's what we're working with. And if we want to go back to the report, just going to go back to the report. Every section, when you put your mouse on, and if you click on it, if you do have that option, you can definitely go ahead and get that focus mode. There's also a spotlight option. For example, our bank balance that we're looking at, which is also very important, when viewing our accounts receivable, I can definitely go ahead and get a spotlight of just that. I'm just going to click on spotlight and there we go. So pretty much highlights just that bank balance and everything else is grayed out, so it puts more focus on it. So I'm just going to click on it. If you want, you can export this information. You can get that. You can get rid of the spotlight. It brings everything back. And so because we're looking at the analysis of accounts receivable, don't need to go scrolling all the way down to the bottom to look at the total. It's giving us that total due here again. And of course, as I mentioned, you can pretty much spotlight anything that you want there. There it is. Now that we're done with all of that, this is where we get into the meat of the whole report. Let's jump to the age summary. This is essentially when we're looking at our age summary here, you'll see how much money is owed to you and how long that money has been outstanding. And this dashboard is interactive. So if you click on items older than let's say 120 days, that dashboard will filter or will adjust to pretty much show you the outstanding debtors. So take a look at what we have here for, let's say, 120 days. I'm just going to click on it. And when I do this, please focus on, let's say, the other information. Just focus on the other sections of this dashboard. So I'm just going to click on the 120 days there. There we go. And notice how the information is indeed parsing Focus on the top 5 customers in sales by sales, the customers by amount. Do notice how all of this information is adjusting based on what I'm clicking on here in this dashboard. Same thing works for the 90 days. Let's just do that so you can take a look at it. Same thing for the older. So when you do that, notice how those dashboards are adjusting. Again, really, really cool stuff. And like I said, because this is it's a dashboard that we're working with, we can definitely go ahead and we can get our nice little focus mode like this. There we go. We've got our nice little focus mode, and we can definitely change that information. So very, very interactive. I don't think my screen's big enough, but if you guys are working on a much bigger screen, you'll see all the data down at the bottom. Just doing a mouse over pretty much gives you the information also do. So I'm going to take you back to the report again. Let's go. So we're back to that report. That's essentially what we're looking at. If you want to click out of it, out of a specific section that you've clicked on, simply just put your mouse anywhere on that dashboard and click, and it will pretty much clear everything. So right now, looking at that the less than 90 days, if I click on it, notice how it's telling me what the debtor days are, the bank balance, and the total due, and it filters all of that information. It adjusts it, and we're good to go. So I'm just going to click out of it so you can pretty much see what happens there. But there's a lot more that we can do because you can drill down. You can actually go and drill down on some specific information. So take a look at that 120 days that we're working with. I can right click on it and you can choose to drill down. When I choose to drill down, notice how it's actually drilling down on that information there so you can see it. So that's it right there. It's telling me now exactly what I'm looking at here. So this is it right here. And again, you can keep drilling down if you want, or you can drill up. Something I wanted to show you that's very, very important here. There is something here called See Records. So for example, right now I'm just working with the $40,000. 40K that I clicked on right here. I'm just going to right click on it. I'm going to choose to see the records. Once I do this, it's going to show me the records, and that should be coming up pretty soon. There we go. And that's it. So when I do that, it's showing me the records that actually gave me that specific total there. It gives me the age summary, gives me the customer name, how much was due, and it sums all that information up. That's what I'm looking at there. Again, that's really, really powerful stuff when working with something like this dashboard. I'm going to take you back to the report because there's a lot more that we can do. And so that pretty much just by clicking on it, just by clicking on that 120 days, what it did is it pretty much showed me all of the different customers or the debtors essentially that I had there. But if I want to go back, I can just place my mouse on that little button up top there that says drill up, and it's going to drill that information back up. Very, very easy. But wait, there's still a lot more. So there we go. This was just monthly information. There's a lot more. If I want, I can work with top 5 customers by sales. These are my specific customers. I can right click on a specific customer. I can drill down like that. If I want, I can choose to show data. Let me click on that show data and show exactly what happens. There we go. So show me that information there. Shows me the different customers. And again, because it's interactive, I can click on a specific section and there we go. It's pretty much pulling all that data for me. I'm going to take you back to the report again, but there's still a lot more that you can do. And if ever you want to clear it, like I said, click anywhere out of there. Next, I'm just going to go ahead. Something else you can do here. Let's see if you guys can see down at the bottom. I have this split into monthly and detailed information. I'm going to take you to detail really quickly, and this shows me my analysis of accounts receivable in a more detailed setting. If I want here, I can click on a specific customer like Bickerton. Just clicking on it, notice how everything that's tied to it to the right pretty much shows me Bickerton now. I can work with, let's say, BMC, and just doing that pulls the information and it gives me the specific charts that I want to work with. And if ever I want to click out of it, just go ahead and click there and you're good to go. But if you want, you can you could turn on your drill down. There's so much more that you can do, guys. You can go to the next level in the hierarchy. And there's something also I wanted to show you. When you do this, clicking on the next level of the hierarchy, just clicking on it, it pretty much breaks that information down by invoice number, depending on how you want that. So these are the invoice numbers I'm looking at. If I want to go up, let's go back up again. Now I'm going to click here. You can expand all of them down one level. When we do this, it's going to break it down now by all of those different customers and their different invoices. Let me break that down so you guys can see it. Notice how we have Bickerton and all of their invoices that we're looking at. Once we're done with Bickerton, it's going to move to BMC or whichever customer you might have, and its invoices there. Good to go. I'm just going to bring us all the way back up there. And if I want, I can just go back here to monthly, and that's what we're working with. Now, something I wanted to show you. Look at total invoices versus our paid invoices. It just shows you how much has been invoiced in a particular month and how much money has been received relating to what was invoiced. So again, look at the sales paid that we're looking at. the sales, and then look at the paid that we're looking at. So for example, for September of 2017, pretty much what I had for the sales and what was paid, it's almost identical. But take a look at January, for example, of 2018. Notice how we do have sales, but most of the people have not yet paid for those sales. Now take a look at May. We have only sales, but we don't have anything paid out. So this essentially gives you a nice little guide of how you can be going about looking at your accounts receivable, and if there are any steps that you need to take to adjust, the way you collect money or the way you make those sales. This is the time. It pretty much helps you with that. Next, I'm going to take you to the top 5 sales by customer and the amount due. And with both of these charts, you can right click and drill through the specific customer information. So let's do this. I'm going to work with, let's say, the top 5 customers by amount due. Of course, that's our famous BMC. What I can do is I can right click and I can say drill through if I want to. And when I put drill through, I can say drill down on the customer. When I choose to drill down on the customer, now I am looking at just BMC. It gives me a nice detailed view of BMC, still in a nice, beautiful chart and graphical format there. And so what it does is it's giving me the sales for this month for BMC. It gives me the sales over 12 months, the average invoice value, the total due, and the last invoice date. That's what I'm looking at here for BMC. And of course, you can simply click on each one again, like I mentioned. And if you want, you can spotlight that data just like that. Just get out of there. Get rid of that spotlight. So that's what we're looking at for this specific one. So also, I'm just going to take you back to monthly again. There we go. So if I want, I can drill down one more time. I'm just going to say drill through. I'm going to choose drill down customer. That's the information that I'm looking at here. So again, all of these things, you can definitely click on them. What I've done here in this case is I just came here to some of the invoices, and this is one of the invoices here. I just clicked on it and notice how everything adjusts also. But wait, like they say, there's a lot more. If I want, I can choose to show data by right-clicking on specific information, and there it is. It's actually drilling down on that data. And look at the invoice numbers that I have now. Those are my top 5 outstanding invoices for just that one customer. I'm going to take us back here. So also, if you want, you can definitely go ahead and let's see if I can actually work on some more do by age summary. I can just right click on this here. Let's see, I'm going to choose to show records. Now remember, this is just one customer. If I choose to see the records here, it's going to take some time. What it's doing now, it is showing me all of my invoices. So as I mentioned from the beginning, you don't need to go through the pain of sifting through all that paperwork to verify the information. For all those invoices, you really don't need that. You can go ahead and choose to show those records, and notice how it's showing me all of those invoices and their amounts. The customer, of course, is indeed BMC, and you can scroll all the way down. It's going to show you all of that information. So again, like I said, you don't need to grab all of this again. Going back into your program itself, going back into the core program, Sage Accounting, looking at all those invoices, running through lists, or printing paper, doing a lot of paperwork. You don't need to do that. So that's something that's really, really powerful there. And again, can we drill down? Yes, you can definitely do that. You can show more data if you want. Just by doing that, I've just gone and I just clicked on a specific one right here. That's the information that we're looking at. So very, very powerful stuff and very, very high level. And again, if there's anything you don't understand with any of these reports, just take us all the way to the right hand side, that information button, and it's going to tell you what this layout does. And it's telling you that there's a detailed one pager of a customer who owes you money. So I'm just going to take us back here, take us back one more time, and that's our analysis of accounts receivable in a nutshell. Like I said, you can definitely go in here and you can play with it as much as you want. You can see all the information that you're looking at. So what I was saying is something I also wanted to mention is that when you can view the specific contact details, you can pretty much look at further information, and there is a detail tab. So that's just, again, it's a very, very small portion of our dashboards. This is just accounts receivable. The same thing applies for your accounts payable when you're working with your vendors, with the people that you owe money to. It's just pretty much the opposite is true in this case. When you're done with that, of course, you can go ahead and you can export this. Like I said, all this data, if you want, you can definitely go ahead and you can export the data. It's all up to you how you want to change that information there. So let's see, I'm going to take you back now. If I want, we can go back to my reports. I can click back. Or I can choose to go to the standard reports again, which is going to bring me to our landing page again. So we're just working with our accounts receivables. Of course, like I said, the accounts payable pretty much works the same way. I'm not going to touch these other tabular reports. It's something we have been doing in the past because I'm going to take you guys now to some other reports like the financial hygiene. So with the financial hygiene here, I'm just going to choose to run this report. This is also another report that I really like because of the parameters that you might want to work with. So I'm going to choose to run this one. There we go. And again, it's stitching all the information together. It's going to give me the best view. This report should run a bit faster than the analysis of our accounts receivable and payable because there's a lot more data there. This is pretty much just giving me a snapshot of my financial situation in the company. And our report seems to be loading, and there we are. We now have the financial hygiene. Of course, as everyone knows here, cash flow is such an essential ingredient to the survival and success of your business. And if you encounter cash flow problems at some stage, it can be really serious when you're working with your company. I mean, it's just pretty much an enemy of progress if there is no cash flow. So this is why it always pays to keep a close eye on what your cash flow is doing, and also to take steps to rectify any problems before things get out of hand. Now, with our cash flow here, notice how it's already given me my bank balance. And again, like I said, with all these reports, you definitely click on them there, and there's a lot more. Just putting your mouse on that information there, that information button, it tells you exactly what we're looking at. Can we drill down on it? Yes, you can choose to show the records. For example, the bank movement, we've got cash in and we've got cash out. So for example, let's work with our cash in. You can right click there, and I'm going to choose to say either show data or see the records. When I choose to see the records, there we go. This is our cash in. I'm going to take us back. I'm going to right click again on it. This time I'm going to choose to show data, and there we go. So that's what we're looking at here. I'm just going to take us back. Receivables versus payables. Like, again, looks like we're doing well because we do have some more. We have more receivables than payables. Look at our debtors versus our creditors. The days right there down at the bottom also. And again, like I mentioned, you can click on all of this information. So, for example, if I click on a specific section here, notice how everything is adjusting accordingly, okay? That's our tax liability I'm looking at. I'm just clicking on all that information, guys. So those of you that are really pedantic when working with your data, bookkeepers, accountants, all of you can definitely see how this information can assist you. And again, if you want, you can definitely do your focus mode by clicking on it, and it will definitely show you this in more detail. So I'm going to take you back to the report right here, and that was our overview that I'm looking at. Let me take you back to our standard reports because there is a business snapshot also. You're not limited to just your financial hygiene. Let's go and run that business snapshot really quickly. A different way. I'm just going to mouse over the ellipses. I'm going to choose to run it. And here comes the business snapshot. With the business snapshot, you actually have the option to choose a specific fiscal year and month that you want to view this data through. So I'm just going to choose, for example, let's work with 2018, and I'm going to work through March, my favorite month. I'm just going to click on it, and of course, this is going to run, and it also should run a bit faster than both receivables. Both the receivables and the payables, so it should be up and running in a second. And our business snapshot seems to be up there, and it's pretty much giving us a profit and loss. This is the extract from our profit and loss reports, of course, that we have, the regular tabular reports. So this is the current year. We've got the last year. We've got the variance. We have a net profit, and it tells us for every dollar made how much we spent. So this is how much it cost us, and that was our net profit. So a couple of things I want to show you guys here. When we're working with this report, for example, again, we can click on this specific business report. Let's see if I can click on one here. If you want, that's our revenue right there that's popping up. Again, there is still the focus mode. That's it right there. I'm just going to go back to the report right there. When you put your mouse over it, it pretty much tells you, it's explaining, telling you everything that you can actually go in there and you can work with. So again, in a nutshell, that's pretty much up to you how you want to look at that. You can change all of that information. It's all up to you. And if you have a lot more data, you can go ahead and you can apply your parameters there. Now, that was just profit and loss. Don't know why you cannot see down all the way at the bottom, but this was just that profit and loss. I'm going to take you to a profit and loss slash expenses here. When I click on it, this pretty much gives me something a bit different now. Watch this. This is really fun. With this business snapshot, take a look at this. I'm looking at all of my different accounts here. But what if I want to focus on just one or a couple of accounts? I'm going to take you all the way to the right. Notice how there is a drop-down list where you can change the parameters for the specific accounts I want to look at. Again, don't need to go back into my core product. Don't need to go back into Sage Accounting. If I wanted to work with, let's say, just my cost of goods sold, I can put a little check mark in there. It's going to highlight it, and that's just the cost of goods sold. But wait, as they say, there's more. If I want to work with more, let's say 3 or 4 of them at the same time, I can just hold down Control on my keyboard. I can just click on the specific ones. Let's see, I'm just going to work with office supplies. Let's get rent release, travel and entertainment, and release. When I do that, notice how that's the information I'm looking at right now. So I've got the cost of goods sold for the current year, last year, and the variance. There you go. And of course, like I said, if ever you want, you can right click, you can choose to show the data. Okay. If you don't want to see some information on a specific page, just go ahead and right click on it and choose to exclude. Will not be shown there. How do we clear it? Of course, guys, just put your mouse. It's something very important. Sorry, I didn't come back there. How to clear this one? Once you put your mouse on that parameter section there, look up top there. It tells you to clear the selections, and when you do that, everything is clear. That's the information you're looking at. Let's see if I can scroll down a bit more. I'm going to take you to my balance sheet again, because the balance sheet, of course, is a very integral part of your business snapshot. So this is the balance sheet that I'm looking at here. It gives me my debt to equity ratio, debt to asset ratio, return on equity. And again, if there's anything you don't understand the way we might have termed it, put your mouse on that little button there that shows the information. And that's what we're going to be looking at there. That's pretty much it. Again, as mentioned, when you click on a specific section here, it will actually adjust everything accordingly. Let's see if I can move out from here. So I'm going to take you back to standard reports, and we're going to jump to one last report I just wanted to show you guys here. It is the sales trend analysis. Let me get to that sales trend analysis really quickly. So I'm just going to choose to run this report. Here, there's an end date. You can pretty much choose whatever date you want to work with. I'm just going to work with August the 6th, the day I'm running it again. And I'm just going to say run. There we go. And that information will be stitched up and running in a second. And it looks like our report is up now. Most successful businesses, of course, are using sales analytics to report and predict the sales performance. So, of course, when you have a sales trend analysis, pretty much tells you over a specific time frame where your sales are going or where they're not going. And with this, something else I like with this report is you can definitely go ahead here and you can make some changes. If you don't want to work with this specific year that I just chose, I can go ahead and say I want to work with, let's say, 2017 in this case. When I do that, I don't know if you saw it adjust, but that information will adjust accordingly. If there's a specific month I want to work with, let's say May, I'm going to put a check mark there, and now I'm looking at the information for May. Notice how, put your mouse on it again, it pretty much tells you everything. All the information is there available for you. And how do we clear it? Simply go ahead and clear your different selections, and you're good to go. That was a dashboard, but you can come down to the bottom. Hope you can see this. I'm going to click on Sales Analysis. There we go. This is the sales analysis I'm looking at, and it will break it up by region, of course. This is your British Columbia, Quebec, Saskatchewan. So I'm going to right click on this right there, and let's see if I can show the data for just Quebec. And there we go. That's Quebec that we're looking at there. It pretty much shows me the information for it right there. If there's anything else I want to work with, of course, I can include or I can choose to exclude as mentioned. And again, if I want to work with just a specific year, let's say 2018 this time, notice how it's going to break up that information there, sales by customer. And guess what? We can still go ahead and choose to show the data for that specific information there, right there. Click on each section. Once you click on each section, it will highlight it again down here at the bottom, and you are good to go. So that essentially is what we're looking at for now. We do have a lot more reports, a lot more changes that are coming up, but I just wanted to go ahead and demo the Power BI reports for you, showing you that we pretty much have a lot of dashboards available now. You're not limited to just your tabular reports, a lot more visualization there that pretty much assists you when working with your KPIs, with your predictive analysis, looking at your trends, essentially looking at all the information from a completely different standpoint. Just want to show you what also is coming up here. Let's see if I can pretty much show you what we're looking at. So we just finished up that demo really quickly. I want to show you also what's coming up in our latest release. It should be out very, very soon. So this is what the page is going to look like. It's going to be a bit different because if you take a look up top here, remember we had just my reports as standard reports, but we will have additional reports also coming up. And that additional report section is very important because under the additional reports, there we go, we're going to have your cash book analysis. We're going to have a report for overdue customers, purchase analysis, stock movement for those of you that track inventory a lot. Of course, your top customers. That's pretty much what's coming out, and there will be more coming out. They're all going to be in that same dashboard format there. Again, they're not tabular, and of course, the dashboard formats, you can drill down on them. You can do your spotlights, you got all the information, and of course, you can open up those records to view the data. Also, on the left hand side right there, which says all reports, there's also going to be a section where you can actually choose to save your favorite reports. So if there's a report that you use all the time, or you've renamed it, or it's something that you always want to come in there and be using every single time, or that's the main report that you want to use, that's pretty much how you can save that specific report as a favorite. So when you do that, the next time you jump into Sage Intelligence, just jump to your favorite reports. No need to scroll up and down again looking for that specific report that you worked with. Once you get your favorite reports, that's just those are the reports you're going to see that you've actually created, that you saved there, and you should be good to go with that. And also, under my reports, we're going to have that nice little folder structure again. They're going to be different now. Remember the folder structure I showed you the last time? We're just changing the visualization. The UI is pretty much changing. So that's what's coming up. But for now, you should be fine with the other dashboards. Like I said, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us at Sage. And that is pretty much it. I want to thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to attend today's webcast. Guys, don't forget to connect with us at Sage Intelligence, and that's www.sageintelligence.com. Check out the Learning Portal for lots of videos like this one and webcasts. That's learning.sageintelligence.com. And also check out the Sage Intelligence Academy. That's www.sageintelligenceacademy.com. Thanks for taking time off your busy schedule to attend today's session. And once more, thanks for choosing Sage.